What's up, guys? Back again with another UFC video, and it's going to be on the UFC 211 card, MIOCIC versus Dos Santos 2. And on this video we're going to go ahead and talk about the Fight Pass prelims, where I'm going to be giving you guys my picks and predictions on these 5 fights right here below. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here, guys. First fight of the night, we got Joakim Kristensen versus Godsey Murad Antigulov. Denmark versus Russia right here. Let's go ahead and just open up the recent profiles. The profiles, and check out the recent fights, just so you guys get a little bit of info on them. Based on the records, though, you can see Antigulov is a finisher. He only has 5% of his wins are by decision. So this guy's a finisher. Joakim seems more well-rounded here with his finishes. Alright, so this guy's 38 years old. His summary is striking in jiu-jitsu, 14-4 record. Pretty tall for the weight class, 6'3", 76-inch reach. His last fight and last win was against Bojan Mihailovic, who, to be honest, really isn't that good. He's kind of a bum, and he was able to get that finish in the 3rd round. Before that, he lost to Henrique de Silva, who's another a big light heavyweight. Has a lot of power, good striking, but also showed off his submission skills in that fight to get that win. What else we got here? 6-fight win streak. Yeah, that's kind of about it there, pretty much, for his profile. Alright, now I'm gonna move on to Antigulov. So this guy is a 19-4 record. Obviously he's Russian, so he's gonna have that wrestling, as you can see right here. His summary is wrestling. 30 years old, so he's a lot younger, pretty much in his prime. 5'11", so he's actually a lot shorter there. That's like, what, 4 inches shorter? Where is it? 5? Yeah, 4 inches shorter. 70-inch reach, so he's going to be at a reach disadvantage. And his last fight in the UFC, and his only fight in the UFC, was a win against Marcos Rogério de Lima, who's a good Brazilian kickboxer, very good striker with excellent power. Antigulov tapped him out in the 1st round, where he pretty much, as you can see right there in the strikes, he wasn't able to land the strike, but he took him down, passed his guard and whatnot, and got the quick submission in like the 1st minute. You know, got him with the guillotine. So this guy's obviously really good on the ground, excellent submission skills. Obviously he doesn't want to stand and bang with someone like De Lima, who has a lot of power and he's a really good kickboxer. This guy has a shit ton of submission wins, as you can see right there. 16 first-round finishes, 13-fight win streak, 14 wins by submission. So, I mean, look at that. He has a lot of variety, too. It's not just all rear naked choke or guillotines or whatever. He has rear naked choke, guillotine, anaconda choke, arm bar, knee bar, triangle choke, and then there's the 4 wins by knockout. So, yeah, this guy's a finisher everywhere. From what I've seen about his striking, I haven't seen too much of it because he rarely uses it, but he does have some power in those hands. He does hit, fast and heavy. He has some fast hands, hits hard, but I don't really see him throw a lot of combinations because it seems like he really just wants to get that takedown. He likes using his base, obviously that really good wrestling, and he has excellent takedowns. I mean, his takedown average, he only has 1 fight, but obviously he took De Lima down really quickly. We don't know too much about Kristensen's takedown defense here, but I think Antigulov here, guys, is going to be my pick. I think he's going to have too much. I think his wrestling game is going to be a little bit too much for Kristensen. Also, Kristensen's getting a little bit older now. He did get that finish against Bojan, but Bojan's not really at a high level. And I see Antigulov has some good power in his hands also. So, I mean, I could see this guy just, right away starts fast, lands some good shots, just to kind of like, set up the takedown. But one of those shots actually hurts Joachim, and then, he finishes him quickly. Because I've seen Antigulov's highlights, and he does that in one of his fights, like quick 1-minute knockout or something like that, like starts the fight quick, throws his flurry of punches, one of them lands clean. The guy gets hurt, he's on the ground, he pounds him out. So yeah, this guy got power, and having that really good wrestling base with excellent submission skills makes him a big threat here. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Antigulov to win this fight. He could either win by decision, but I mean, this guy's a finisher, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and say he's gonna get a. Yeah, I don't know about that early finish, but it's very possible. Let me just say it's gonna be a second round knockout. Let's go ahead and go with that. So second round knockout. Next fight we got Gabriel Benitez versus Enrique Barzola. Featherweight fight here. Check out their recent fights on their profiles here real quick. Internet's a little bit laggy here. Let me see if it's gonna load up or not. Okay. Alright, so here's Benitez's page. 19-6 record, striking. Last fight, last win against Sam Cecilia. Got a second round submission. This guy was fucking him up with leg kicks, man. Fucking Benitez has excellent kicks. This guy's a pretty good striker. Excellent striking, especially with his kicks. Also is I'm pretty sure he's a southpaw. Really likes using his left hand a lot. Yeah, he has a lot of finishes. Look at that shit. Yeah, he's only had one loss in the UFC, and that was to Andre Fili, who's like a good prospect. He's still up there. Besides that, he's been looking pretty good. And then Barzola, physical strength and wrestling. This guy really likes to pretty much use his wrestling. Pretty much all about his wrestling. But recently showcased a little bit of striking in his last fight against Chris Avila. He landed 7 takedowns and he landed a shit ton of strikes. Yeah, but this guy really likes his wrestling, as you guys can see right here. Something about Olympics. So yeah, this guy's a good wrestler and improving striking and whatnot. Benitez here has excellent submissions though, which I think is going to counter that, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Benitez on this fight. I think he's for sure the better striker. His takedown defense looked good against Sam Cecilia. He uses his kicks well, to keep the range and whatnot. So I can see him keeping the range, to get away from Barzola's takedowns. Maybe just outstrike him on the outside, or maybe just be offensive and land some heavy shots and get that finish. So yeah, it's gonna be hard for Barzola to close that distance, I think, on Benitez. So it's hard to see him win. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Benitez, and I think he's gonna get a let's go ahead and say, man, I don't know, this guy gets finishes, but I don't know, Barzola looks like a tough guy. Let's go ahead and say Benitez just goes and gets a third round knockout. Alright, so next fight, Chase Sherman versus Rashad Coulter. Pretty quick pick here. Sherman hasn't looked too good in the UFC. You guys can check out his record here below. The guy he's fighting is making his debut. Here's Chase Sherman's UFC page. 9-3 record now. Dynamic style, athleticism, pretty big guy. Obviously heavyweight. He's on a 2-fight losing streak in the UFC. Got outboxed by Ledet. He got straight bombed down. You know what I'm saying? Ledet straight outstruck him. Ledet's actually a really good heavyweight, man. Can't wait to see that guy fight again. I like his style. Anyways, Walt Harris, obviously a guy with good striking, excellent power, was able to get that second round knockout on him. Sherman is pretty durable though. Excellent chin. Also a lot of knockout power. All his wins are in the first round. So I mean, this guy's a heavy hitter, just like Rashad Coulter here. The only thing about Rashad Coulter, guys, is he's a lot more one-dimensional than Sherman. He's not as technical. He's also well, he's pretty short. I mean, he's like 5 inches shorter. But it's not just that. I think Chase Sherman should be the more well-rounded fighter here, man. He has the better technical striking. I want to say he's more durable. He has a wrestling background, even though he doesn't really use it. And also he has this UFC experience in his back pocket while Coulter here is making his debut. So it's hard to see Coulter get the win here. Seems too one-dimensional. He just kind of depends on that right hand, whereas Sherman throws a lot more, good leg kicks and whatnot. So yeah, I'm picking Sherman here on this one, and all his fights end in the first round, so it's gonna be a first round knockout here, guys. Sherman, first round KO. Alright, now for the next fight here. So on this fight we got Jared Gordon versus Mitchell Quinones. Gordon here, I haven't seen too much of him, but he has a boxing style. As you can see, he has a lot of wins by knockout. He likes to close the distance and just kind of bang you up on the inside and whatnot. Yeah, my internet's lagging a little bit here, guys. Let's see if it's gonna load up or not. Come on. That shit is fucking laggy. Anyways, so yeah, boxing and cardio is his summary here. 3-5 win streak, 5 wins by KO, 2 by submission, rear naked choke. Brown belt and BJJ also. Primarily likes to, you know, stand and, you know, not trade, but, you know, like stand and fucking close the distance, try to get, you know, some good shots in on the inside. Quinones here. This guy is more of like almost like a Yair Rodriguez type of style, like a lot of kicks, like, you know, he has really fancy kicks and stuff. Good striking though, 8-1 record as you can see there. Striking, counter wrestling, and ground and pound. 32 years old. 5 wins by KO, 5-5 win streak. Also has a win by submission with an arm bar. Right here you can see right there, went undefeated as a multi-kickboxer, 12-0. So yeah, this guy seems pretty good. You can see right there, national karate championships. Yeah, he has really fancy kicks. So I mean, he comes from that karate type of background, it looks like. So he has really good kicks. Throws a lot to the body. Obviously has just really good leg dexterity. But I think, you know, he does a lot of low output with his striking. Doesn't throw a lot of kicks, like a shit ton of output. So I think Gordon here, guys, is gonna press him against the cage and land those shots. You know, like he's gonna be pressuring him pretty much the whole time, just all up in his face, fucking landing shots and shit. And I think that's gonna keep Mitchell Quinones here from using his outside kicking game, which is what he likes doing, guys. He likes being on the outside, throwing those body kicks, those head kicks, and those fancy hook kicks or whatever. So I think he's gonna struggle with that. Also, his takedown defense, it looks good, but you know, I don't know. Gordon doesn't really seem like a wrestling type, but you never know. This guy might come in with some sort of wrestling, boxing game plan and win like that. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to go ahead and pick Gordon on this fight. I just think he's a little bit more well-rounded, and I think his boxing style and pressure will win him the fight. So Gordon wins this fight by decision. All right, now for the featured fight. On the Fight Pass prelims, we got Jessica Aguilar versus Courtney Casey. Let's go ahead and check out their pages here. Man, this damn UFC website be hella lagging. Alright, anyways, here we go. So Aguilar, 19-5 record, pretty good there. Well-rounded is her summary. 35 years old. Her last fight and only fight in the UFC was against Claudia Gadelha, which was obviously a big step up in competition for her. She lost that fight, but she was looking okay in that third round. Gadelha landed a lot more. Also had the takedowns. Took her down at will pretty much whenever she wanted to. Anyways, Aguilar is primarily a grappler, but also has some good boxing from what I've seen in that Gadelha fight. Some nice little sharp boxing. But yeah, her submission wins here. As you can see, she has 7 wins by submission, guillotine, armbar, 3 arm triangle and triangle, 6 first round finishes. And look at that, brown belt BJJ, 3-time gold medalist for the US FILA grappling team. So, you know, obviously, you know, she prefers to grapple, but she does have a decent stand-up game, you know, like a good boxing style. Kind of like I don't know, when I was watching her fight, her boxing kind of reminded me kind of like a Frankie Edgar type of thing. Like her volume and stuff, her output. Good straight punches and stuff like that. Anyways, now for Courtney Casey here. 6-4 record. Well-rounded here is what they classify her as. 30 years old. Also, she's going to be the bigger girl here, which is why Casey, most of the time, she really uses her strength to get those wins. You know, she's a quick finisher, guys. But anyway, she has that 67-inch reach, 4 inches more compared to Aguilar. So, you know, she's going to have to use that in this fight. Her last fight against Claudia Gadelha, same opponent Aguilar fought, she pretty much got taken down a lot, and she also got outstruck in the feet. It looked like Casey had trouble with her range, even though she's the longer fighter. It was hard for her to get in on the inside. I mean, look at that. That's very poor output. Only 22 significant strikes landed for her in a 3-round fight. And if we look at the fight with her first fight in the UFC against Calderwood, she lands at least 57. COE Ham, she lands 78. So, you know, and then this fight against Amanda Marco, she already lands 21 significant strikes in that first round. So, yeah, Gadella made her her striking, like, you know, very difficult to use, because Gadella was really mixing up the takedowns a lot, even though Gadella had problems really keeping her down a lot. But anyways, before that though, she had 2 first-round wins against Randa Marcos and Christina Stanciu. A lot of people obviously know Marcos is a good grappler. She was able to get that first-round submission on her. So yeah, this girl is, you know, obviously well-rounded. It can tap you out or could knock you out on the ground. Yeah, so she's a finisher, no wins by decision. So on this fight, you know, it's a close fight, and on DraftKings anyway, they have them both priced the same. Aguilar, a lot of people would say, is more like the more well-rounded fighter, but Casey's a big girl, a lot of power, and still a lot of potential there. So, you know what, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take Courtney Casey on this one. And another reason why I'm picking her is Aguilar hasn't fought, look at that, since pretty much, what's that? That's almost 2 years right there, guys. Since August 1st, 2015. That's a long fucking time. And look at that. Since then, look at how much time she's fought. She actually made her debut, you know, after the Aguilar fight. So, you know, Courtney has 4 fights in the UFC now. This is going to be her 5th, while this is going to be Jessica's 2nd. So I think that long layoff also is going to affect Aguilar. If I would have seen her maybe take a fight, you know, before this fight, like, you know, a fight after the Gadella fight, maybe I would be more on her side a little bit. But, you know, that long layoff, you know, I don't really like that. So I'll take Courtney Casey on this fight. This girl has good power, excellent ground and pound. I think she's like very vicious. When she has the top control on you, man, she fucking rains down those fucking elbows and shit. She'll straight smash people on the ground. So yeah, I think Casey here comes out, maybe stays on the outside a little bit, and this time is a little bit more active than she was in that Gadella fight. Also, I don't know if Aguilar here really is a good wrestler to really take down Casey efficiently like Gadella did. So, you know, if Casey keep it standing, she could do a lot of damage. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Casey to win, and I think she's gonna win this fight. Actually, it's probably gonna be her first decision win. So I think Casey wins by decision, guys. Alright, guys, so that's it for my picks. To recap here real quick, I'm picking Antigulov, 2nd round knockout, Benitez, 3rd round knockout, Sherman, 1st round knockout, Gordon by decision, and Courtney Casey by decision. Alright, guys, that's it for the picks on the Fight Pass prelims. Stay tuned for my next video, well, for the UFC videos anyway, for my FX picks and then the main card picks. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, guys, subscribe, check out the links below in the description. You guys can like my page on Facebook right there. If you click the link and, you know, it takes you to a different website or whatever, you just gotta do, all you gotta do is just click skip that ad on the top right corner and whatnot. I always do that, you know, to get a little bit more revenue. Obviously, you know, gotta support the channel and whatnot. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, and catch you guys on the next video.